Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about taking a toddler to Disney World as a solo parent. So a very different kind of Disney trip that can honestly be a little intimidating if you've never done it before. I recently took my 2.5-year-old to Disney just a couple of months ago for the first time solo. We had an incredible time, but I did learn quite a bit along the way. So I have lots of tips to share with you, but before we dive in, my name is Bekah, and if you are new, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. I share all kinds of Disney planning content, tips for taking a toddler to Disney World, as well as vlogs from our latest Disney trip. So if you are not already subscribed, I would love for you to do so. And go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and let's dive into all the tips. If I could share one piece of advice for taking a toddler to Disney solo, it would be to have a very loose schedule, a very loose itinerary for your day. Normally on trips, if my husband is there or my mom, we're doing a big family thing, I have our days pretty planned out. I know what time we need to be out the door. I have our first lightning lane booked. I've got all of our reservations mapped out. I've kind of got an hour by hour schedule for our day. But when it comes to taking a toddler to Disney solo, I do things a little bit different, and I don't have the same structure to our day that I normally would on a big family trip. So if we get out the door for early entry, great. If not, no big deal. The goal for this kind of trip is to make it as easy on yourself as possible. So having a loose schedule, a looser schedule than you normally would, is kind of the way to go because it allows way more freedom and flexibility for your toddler to have all the unexpected moments that toddlers have. So for instance, on our way to a ride, my toddler saw some flowers on the sidewalk and she wanted to pick the flowers. And I had margin in our day for that, and I didn't have to pull her away from that moment and cause a big scene or anything like that. We just got to take our time because I had, again, a very loose schedule for our day, and I had margin for the playground and lots of trips to the baby care center and time to pick flowers on the sidewalk and snacks at the hub grass. I mean, the list goes on, but that would be my biggest piece of advice, is to have a very, very loose schedule for the day. My next tip is not to deviate from what you know works well for your toddler. Again, the goal is to make this trip as easy on yourself as possible and enjoyable for your toddler as well. So if they have a favorite snack, a favorite lunch, a nap time that they count on every day, don't deviate from that on this trip. Save all the experimenting with different nap times and foods and snacks for at home or another trip, but let this trip be the trip that you have nap time back in the room if that's something they need, or if they have favorite snacks, have those available. Try to stick with what is most familiar with your toddler so that you are setting yourself up well and it's going to be a successful trip. So that's all I have to it with that tip, but don't deviate from what you know works well. All right, let's talk strollers. And this can be a big topic when it comes to solo mom toddler Disney trips. And if you are even considering not bringing a stroller, bring the stroller. Let's just get that out of the way. Bring the stroller. But the biggest thing here is to make sure that you have the right stroller set up. I'll have my Disney stroller setup video linked down below if you want to check that out. I share exactly how we set up our stroller for a full day in the parks. I tend to go a more compact, minimal route just in general, but especially on a solo mom Disney trip, I am really condensing things down and bringing just the bare minimum with me. And the reason being, when you are getting on Disney transportation, when you're going through Disney security, on and off rides, I mean, really every aspect of your day, you only have two hands. So if I'm trying to juggle 4 different bags, collapsing my stroller, and trying to keep up with my toddler, that's just a lot. So if I'm able to condense everything down to one bag, and then we have one little cooler that can clip onto our backpack. That way I'm able to collapse my stroller down with one hand. We have a very compact stroller, and then I'm holding on to my toddler's hand in the other hand. So try to make your setup as easy as possible, whatever that looks like for you, and make sure it's something that you can maneuver easily one-handed, because a lot of the times I was pushing my stroller in one hand and I had a water bottle in another hand, or my coffee, or I was talking to my husband on the phone, or I was scrolling making our next lightning lane. So make sure it's something that you can easily maneuver and that you're comfortable with. If it's something that has a bunch of different attachments to it and you're having to take apart a bunch of pieces and fold it down and carry all your things and watch your toddler, it might be a lot, and it might be worth looking into a different kind of stroller that may be, again, a little bit easier to maneuver. While we are on the stroller topic, I did want to talk about security, because this was something that did kind of worry me. Was how do you do security with a toddler and a stroller alone, because you don't have a second person to wait with the stroller off to the side while you walk through the scanner, the metal detector? But the first time I did it, my nerves were put at ease. So what you'll do when you approach security is you'll first see a little sign that has a stroller and an arrow on it. So just follow in that direction. And then you'll park your stroller right next to the metal detector. So I was never more than 5 feet away from my toddler, and a security guard was standing right next to our stroller the entire time. I was able to walk right through, and then I loop back around and I grab the stroller, and then of course they'll want to look through the bottom if you have anything under there. But other than that, I just had my bag with me. I took it off of our stroller hooks that I have our diaper bag typically attached to. So I just had that off and I carried it through the metal detector. And again, I was never more than 5 feet away from my toddler, and they do a great job of making you feel comfortable. There's always a security guard standing next to your stroller with your toddler, so they're never just left alone. You're never pulled out of reach from them or anything like that. So, you know, I hope that's helpful to hear someone's firsthand experience going through security alone with a toddler. I know it can be nerve-wracking, but once you do it that first time, you'll get in a groove and you just kind of know what to do, and it's no big deal after that. Now let's talk about dining, because this was another piece of planning our trip that I was thinking, how in the world is this going to work? How do you get a quick service tray of food and push a stroller and get your drinks and napkins and forks and all the things? So let me share what worked for us. First, the easiest thing we ended up doing was table service reservations, and that really simplified our meals. I usually had one sit-down meal every day with my toddler, and they were some of the best meals we had, because we had an actual waiter or waitress coming to our table giving us everything we needed, and I didn't have to worry about drink refills or napkins or how do I juggle all of this. It was just really nice to have someone bring everything to us. So that really simplifies, is just doing sit-down table service meals. And then for quick service, the thing that changed the game for me while I was there solo with my toddler was doing mobile order, but getting it to go, because then they put all of your food into a to-go bag in a brown paper bag, and then you can just loop it onto your wrist and push your stroller, and you're not having to carry a tray. Whether you're doing mobile order or you're walking up and ordering in person, get your quick service meal to go. It really simplifies and eliminates the tray juggle with the stroller and all of that. Of course, you still have to get your drinks, but I really went the water bottle route anyway, so we never really did soda or anything like that. So we had drinks with us, but that was pretty much how we did quick service dining, and it really wasn't bad. It was really easy. We did some to-go orders back in the room. I mean, we did a lot of to-go orders, and that's honestly the way to go with a toddler, because you have everything already bagged up for you. And again, you're not having to juggle a dozen things. My next tip is to purchase Memory Maker. Normally, I am all about skipping all the extra add-ons like the park hopper and the Memory Maker, you know, just save the money, you don't need it. But honestly, Memory Maker was the one thing that I wish I'd had when I was there solo with my toddler. I had to get really creative with pictures with her, and we got some really cute ones, but I think having Memory Maker would have really simplified our photos, and especially with character interactions, I just wish that I'd had it. And that way you don't have to worry about, can someone take our picture? And I had a little tripod that I would set my phone up on the tripod, and I would have to angle it just right. And my toddler was getting annoyed. She was like, can we please be done with this? I'm so over pictures, because I had to get the angle just right and set the timer and the whole thing. So we made it work. But again, I wish that I had just had Memory Maker. It would have probably sped up our photo process, and I probably would have had more pictures than what I have now. So just get the Memory Maker. I know it seems like a splurge, like, oh, that's, you know, a park ticket or, you know, a party ticket, but it's worth it. Just get it and you'll have all the sweet pictures and all the sweet memories. My next tip is to schedule a grocery delivery order and have it sent directly to your resort. This is a tip that I would recommend for anyone on any Disney trip, but especially when you are traveling solo with a toddler. Having your little one's favorite snacks and breakfast foods and drinks and a case of water, even diapers sent directly to your resort can really simplify your packing. My toddler is obsessed with yogurt, like has to have yogurt the second she opens her eyes in the morning. So I knew that if we don't have yogurt at our Disney resort, it's gonna throw her whole day out of whack. So this was a great way to ensure that we had yogurt ready to go. I also had fruit, cheese sticks, Uncrustables. What else did we have? I got a case of water, things like that delivered right to our resort. And it was so nice to have some cold items that I could pack in our cooler for the park day. And I had a couple of snacks for me when I was hungry at 10 o'clock at night and we were back in the room. So schedule the grocery delivery order. It just makes things so much easier. Again, even with diapers, wipes, those can take up a lot of room in your suitcase. So you can just have those sent directly to your resort. And again, it makes it so easy. My next tip is, and this is just keeping it so real, is to locate and utilize companion restrooms. Obviously, your stroller and your toddler will have to come into the restroom stall with you. So finding those companion restrooms can just simplify that restroom experience and gives everyone enough space, because I attempted to bring my stroller into a normal handicap size stall and it still wasn't large enough for what we needed. My toddler was kicking me while I was on the toilet and it's just a mess. So to avoid that, you can actually locate the companion restrooms on the My Disney Experience app. And I'll insert a screen recording here where you can actually locate not only where the restrooms are, but specifically companion restrooms are. So this was a huge help on my trip with my toddler and made going to the bathroom just so much easier. So again, I told you we're keeping it so real here because that's the reality of traveling alone with a toddler. You don't have a break to go to the bathroom. You have to bring your toddler with you and you just make it work. So tagging off of that is to utilize the baby care center, and there are companion restrooms in the baby care center as well. So utilize those, but take advantage of the baby care center. Those areas are going to be a really nice spot for you to relax and take a break, especially in the Magic Kingdom baby care center. There's coloring sheets and there's a movie playing. So even if you don't need a diaper change or anything specific, you can really just go in there to relax and get out of the heat, and it's just a really nice spot. So take advantage of those baby care centers for sure. And lastly, let's talk about meltdowns and what I do to avoid these disasters. The biggest thing I have learned to do for my toddler, and this has transformed our park days, I'm telling you, like I didn't know how to do this with my toddler a year ago, and I think our trip last year could have gone very differently if I had done this. But what I do is I am letting my toddler know exactly what to expect minute by minute. It seems excessive, but I am talking through our entire day with her all day long. So first thing in the morning, if I'm getting her up and I know that we are headed out the door, we're gonna go to Magic Kingdom, we're gonna get on Winnie the Pooh, and then we're gonna grab a snack and have some breakfast. So those are our first couple of things in the morning. I am talking through exactly play by play how it's going to go with her. So she knows exactly what we're doing, exactly what to expect. I'm explaining it to her. I'm giving her all the details of what we're gonna see, what it's gonna be like. So she has in her mind now exactly what's gonna happen. And I'm telling you, this has helped so much. So I'm really talking to my toddler all day long. Like, it doesn't stop. I'm talking to her all day long. And again, it seems excessive, but this has transformed our park days and it's helped her so much. And it doesn't go perfectly every single time. She has her moments for sure, but I get down on her level and I'm able to just talk to her and have a conversation with her. Another thing I'll do with my toddler throughout the day is I will give her opportunities to choose between a couple different things, and I'll give her that opportunity all day long because toddlers love to feel like they are in control, right? And so if we are in a gift shop and I know that I'm gonna buy her one item, I'll let her choose. I'll pick out two different things and I will let her decide, do you want this one or this one? So the power is on her now. She feels like she's in control, and that can honestly be a really good diversion if there's something else that she's wanting. I'm giving her the choice, so that's really helped. I'll do that with rides, and I'll say, do you want to do the Winnie the Pooh ride again, or would you like to go on Dumbo? So two rides that she's already been on. Those two rides, she knows what to expect, but again, she feels like she's in control because she gets to choose what we do. So obviously I'm choosing the things that I let her choose, you know what I mean? Like, it's all within reason, all within my boundaries as the parent, but it's a great way to help avoid some of those meltdowns because she feels like she's in control of the day to a certain degree. And it, again, just has transformed our park days. So those are the two things that have really helped us. And I don't know if we had a single meltdown moment. We had a few moments on our last trip where she was on the verge of a meltdown, but those were the moments where I would get down on her level, again, explain things to her, talk things through with her, kind of reason things out, validate the way she's feeling, and then I would either give her a choice. So I would take a few minutes. Like, it definitely takes extra time, and I think that goes back to my very first tip, is to have a loose schedule for your day, is because you need to leave margin for moments like this where, you know, they're on the verge of a meltdown and you have to take a few extra minutes to get down on their level and reason things out with them and validate their emotions and let them feel seen and heard and choose, or, you know, whatever the issue is. So, you know, those are just some things that I have learned and that have worked well for me and my toddler. So it might be worth implementing and trying out on your next Disney trip. Again, it may not work perfect every single time. They're still toddlers and they have their moments, but if I can help her process through the day, because Disney is a lot to take in as a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, I mean, it's like sensory overload. Again, those are the things that have worked well for us, but that has really helped us avoid those meltdown moments and helps keep my toddler happy, and again, makes the trip easy for me. All right, well, those are all of my tips for taking a toddler to Disney World solo. I hope this was helpful. I know I got a little ranty at the end, but I hope it was helpful. Just hearing what other moms do, I know, can sometimes be helpful and interesting, hearing, you know, how do other moms handle situations like this. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you are not already subscribed, I would love for you to stick around for more toddler mom Disney content. I have lots of Disney vlogs coming up very soon, so you will definitely want to stick around for those. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you have not done so already. And I think that's it for today. So thank you guys again, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.